A therapy hour with your host, Steve Garufi. I'm an LPC in Colorado. Colorado flag up there. All right. And I got a taco sign right here. And I just had breakfast and I'm sipping on this hot cocoa. It's mint flavored hot cocoa. Here, you want to see it? You can see it. It's very tasty. It's mint. I'm going to talk about a bunch of therapy topics, okay? And there's actually a bird on my hummingbird feeder right now. Hey. Okay. I knocked the finches hop onto my hummingbird feeder. And they just make a ruckus. Anyway, I'm going to talk about a bunch of therapy topics, all right? And you're welcome to comment in the chat section. You're also welcome to reply afterwards. All right. So let's just do a little live stream. Okay. How's everyone doing this morning? What is it, Tuesday? Here in America, we had our 3-day weekend. We had Memorial Day yesterday. All right. Here are the topics. I actually put them in the title section. Empathy. Let's talk about empathy. That's been coming up a bunch in my in therapy. Some of my clients have been bringing it up. Hold on, let me just turn my phone off. Sometimes people start texting me. They're watching and then they start texting me. And it's like, no, chat in the chat section. Anyway, all right. Let's talk about empathy. What is empathy? All right, put in really simple terms. Empathy is putting yourself in another person's shoes. Okay, that's a figure of speech. Empathy is saying, I wonder what it's like to be that person. I'm going to put myself in their perspective. What must they be feeling? What must they be experiencing? What must they be thinking? That's empathy, being able to put yourself in that other person's shoes, and especially identifying feelings. What must it feel like to be in that person's situation right now? And then the main thing is communicating understanding, communicating, hey, I get how you would feel that way. I would feel the same way. That's empathy. It's really important to have friends, a support system, whoever, at least some people that have empathy for your situation in your life, maybe the struggles you're going through in life. The opposite of empathy would be, first of all, if somebody just communicated, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you feel. I don't care if this offends you. That's almost the opposite of empathy. All right. Actually, here's another way to kind of paint the picture of empathy. Okay. What is not empathy? The opposite of empathy would almost be like a criminal. All right. A criminal who, something horrible, like robbing somebody at gunpoint. Say, hey, give me all your money. Okay. In that moment, that person committing that crime, that horrible crime, has no empathy for that other person, because on a base level, in our society, we'd like to think that most people have empathy in saying, hey, I'm not going to rob somebody at gunpoint because I can put myself in the shoes of somebody being robbed, having a gun in your face, and that would be a really awful experience. Therefore, I won't do it to somebody else. All right. So that's kind of why the opposite is people with a criminal personality and criminal behaviors. Usually they lack empathy. And that's a real problem. Okay. But empathy, let's talk about it from a positive standpoint. Empathy is when your therapist is constantly saying, oh, that sounds hard. Or you talk about kind of your feelings about a situation And they're right there to say, oh yeah, I can, they validate your feelings. They're like, oh, that does sound really difficult. Yeah, yeah. Or like me, I've had that experience. I know what that's like. Or, oh, I know that feeling. Empathy. Empathy is, by the way, empathy is not feeling for people. People misunderstand empathy as like carrying people's burdens or carrying people's emotional burdens. It's not that at all. Empathy is feeling with people. Empathy. If you lose someone to death and you're at a funeral, empathy is saying, hey, I'm mourning too. Empathy is saying, hey, I see that you're hurting and I care. Fixing behaviors is not an empathetic response to people. All right. It's kind of neutral on the empathy thing, but fixing is like saying, I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable with you sharing these feelings. I'm not comfortable with your vulnerability. Let me try to fix this right away. Let me give you some advice. Empathy. Empathy. I've got a good friend in Colorado Springs where I swear to you, anytime I just share, hey, this is going on, struggling with whatever, finances or relationships, just something's going on where it's hard. My bicep tendon was hurting, whatever it is, his response is always filled with empathy, where he's like, oh, that sounds tough. Oh my gosh, how bad is the pain? Are you living in pain? Or, oh, I've been through that. Hey, I'm here to support you. Empathy is always about validating people. Another way to look at it, like the opposite of empathy is like, hey, I don't want to hear about your feelings. I'm not going to hold space for you about this difficult thing. I just want you to suck it up. We don't, occasionally we hear of families or whatever, cultures where it's like, we don't have space to talk about feelings. So anyways, that's empathy. Empathy is always about fostering connection. Empathy is saying, I don't even know what to say, but I'm really glad you told me. I'm so glad you told me. It's about saying, hey, you can tell me more. I care about your situation. I care about your experience. I definitely care about your feelings, especially if you're struggling. That's empathy. Empathy is almost like saying, like in our society, I don't know I'm trying to think of a good example, but it's like, I'm not going to litter because I have empathy, because at some point someone's going to encounter that litter and be turned off. So it's like having empathy for other people in our society, All right, I'm just rambling a little bit, but that's empathy. A good therapist will have empathy for you, your situation, what's going on, okay? And empathy. Hello to all two people. There's been two people watching for a lot of this. All right. But there you go. So that's my little spiel on empathy. Oh, let me say this. My third Bike Across America trip in February and March 2017, I called it the bike ride for empathy, because I was just on this empathy kick, and I had a little web page back then, and I had little videos and instructions on empathy. Empathy, it's really important. If you have a partner and your partner feels like, has communicated to you that it's like, I don't feel connected to you, I can't share with you, it's hard to talk to you, you probably need to work on your empathy skills. Constantly putting yourself in another person's shoes. All right. We have a tendency as humans to kind of be selfish, where we're just thinking of ourselves. It's just kind of part of human nature. And it takes hard work and effort to say, what's it like to be in their shoes? So there you go. All right, let me sip more of my mint cocoa. This is so good. I got this at the Walmart for like 70, I think it was like 70 cents. Second topic. Let's talk about loneliness. I'm not an expert on feelings, but I know I've been a therapist for 20 years. I think I know something. But I do want to say I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure I'm onto something, which is loneliness is a feeling. Loneliness is a feeling. I'm always trying to teach my clients to identify feelings, to journal, to be asking themselves every day, what is my internal experience like? What have I been entertaining thoughts about all day? What are my subconscious beliefs and thoughts that are just constantly running through my mind? All right. And then on the topic of feelings, identifying feelings, loneliness is one of those, like, we don't realize it, but it is, I think it is a feeling. Loneliness. It can be a trigger. It can be a foundational feeling that can trigger whatever. Whatever your favorite vices are, or whatever if you've got addiction issues, or loneliness can trigger looking at your phone all the darn time, or all sorts of things. It can actually be a trigger towards like depressive thoughts, or maybe even anxiety. Be on guard about loneliness. A couple of thoughts about loneliness. A lot of people are struggling with it. They're saying there's a real loneliness epidemic, at least in American culture. I don't know about other cultures, and it would make sense. Just know, how lonely are you? Now, by the way, there's different ways to like gauge this, because loneliness, it isn't, in some ways it can be being physically alone. Okay. But then another part of loneliness is maybe you have lots of people around, but can you be yourself? Can you be your authentic self around others? If you can't, it's going to feel real lonely. You know what I mean? Or if you're really struggling and sad, but you're with people where you feel like you have to suck it up and pretend everything's great, that's going to be a burden. That's probably one of the worst feelings ever, isn't it? A lot of married couples, I'm just saying, all right? A lot of married couples, just because you've got a partner, you're sleeping in the same bed, you're eating meals together, all this stuff, you're watching TV together, whatever you're doing, you still can be very, very lonely in that relationship. In fact, it can be even more painful. Loneliness can be even more painful when you're with people or with somebody and you still feel that loneliness. Be open. How lonely are you? All right. Especially if you're journaling and you're reflective about your life and your feelings and your overall wellness. Okay. And then there's another one called boredom, which I'm pretty sure is a feeling too. All right, but we'll get to boredom. I'll do that for another live stream. Okay. And then, by the way, practical loneliness. I am a single man. I'm 54. I got my own family problems and family estrangement issues. So occasionally I've got clients where they're like exactly like me. I meet people where it's like, oh, yeah, no partner, or they're divorced. They don't have kids. And there's that fear of like, oh, what's going to happen when I get old? Who's going to look after me? All sorts of loneliness issues. So, and then there can be like professional loneliness. I work for myself. I mean, I actually like it. 85% of the time, I love working for myself, being self-employed. I have no boss. I have no coworkers. That's no annoying coworkers. That's so amazing. Okay, indirectly, my clients are my boss. Indirectly, though, okay? Anyway, but there can be a professional loneliness where it's like, wow, it's all on me. Sometimes I've got issues or problems related to work, not having enough work, dealing with insurance. And who do I have to talk to? Who do I have to? So just be open. How much is loneliness a factor in either your mental health symptoms, your challenges, just in your life? It's a good topic. All right. So I've been going for 15 minutes. And before I get to anxiety, let's do some show and tell. All right. I always do a show and tell. A little break. First of all, I've got this beautiful ceramic snake. Look at this beautiful snake. You hang it up on the wall. See, it's got little holes. And it says made in Mexico. That says Heco in Mexico. Made in Mexico. Okay, this is called Talavera. It's a type of ceramic art. And usually you hang it up on a wall or, on a table, something like that. You might see over here, I've got 3 fish up there. And then also here's a really nice, I've got this sun face woman. Isn't she beautiful? That's Talavera. All right. But my snake, I got this in Tubac, Arizona this past winter, and I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet. But look, she's got this pretty design on the top of her head. She's got eyelashes. See? Look, she's got beautiful little eyelashes. Look at that beautiful design. All right, it's just my thing. All right. Item number 2. Better Call Saul fans. Who's watched Better Call Saul? First of all, I got my American Samoa Law School sweatshirt on. So if you've seen Better Call Saul, you probably know what this is. Okay, you do need to watch Better Call Saul. All right. And watch Breaking Bad first. Okay. So I got this at the Breaking Bad store in Albuquerque. Anyway, this is my second item. It's a New Mexico license plate. Do you know what this is about? This was Howard Hamlin's license plate. Namaste. It's a really pretty license plate, isn't it? The yellow. Love that yucca. Did down there in the corner. The land of enchantment. Namaste. This hangs in my living room. It actually hangs like, I see all my clients by video. So it's like behind my, I'm looking at my clients and it's like above my clients' heads. So, cause I love Howard Hamlin so much. He's my favorite character in Better Call Saul. And my favorite character in Breaking Bad is Hector Salamanca. Okay. So there you go. I got this at the Breaking Bad store. I love this so much. Namaste. All right. Thirdly, all right. I've got this lighted neon cactus. Here, I got to plug it in to turn it on. Where's I got to do it on this side. Wait, go in. There we go. Here it is. Ooh, look how beautiful that is. I am Midnight Cactus right here. I don't know where I got this, but this is little thing. I have to plug it into a USB port for it to be on. So there it is. All right. Happy little things. Okay. And here's the Namaste. Happy little things in my life. All right. Little 3 people watching. All right. This thing is so great. It's bright too. I should really do a nighttime. You know what? I got a great idea. a nighttime Midnight Cactus live stream. All right. And then I'll like the taco sign, all my neon lighted things. It'll be really pretty. Okay. All right. Third topic, anxiety. All right. Well, actually, I got two more topics. We'll talk about anxiety. First of all, I have an anxiety Pinterest page. Go check out my Pinterest page. All right. I got a lot of crazy, goofy, pretty stuff on my Pinterest page. And then if you look around, you'll see I've got some mental health and I've got one on anxiety. And I was going through the folder yesterday and I came up, there were some really good pins. All right. First of all, and look, right now, I just want to have some fun. Actually, I will say this. For my clients that struggle with anxiety, it sucks. It sucks in so many ways. And you know what I mean? Like, my heart goes out to you. I hope you have a good therapist. I hope you feel like you have hope that maybe you can reduce your anxiety and all that, okay? So, but like one practical thing is like sometimes using humor. I just find sometimes like using humor can take the edge off or take the power away from things like anxiety. Anyway, all right, so I'm rambling, but here's a little thing. I'm quitting my job to pursue anxiety full time. I like that. Oh, here's one. Anxiety girl, able to jump to the worst conclusion in a single bound. There you go. Don't jump to conclusions. That's a cognitive distortion. I do that myself in my own personal life, by the way. So we could talk about cognitive distortions. That might be, you know what? That might be for a future. We're going to do cognitive distortions for another. And then boredom. We're going to do boredom too. All right. So anyway, anxiety girl. Oh, there's a t-shirt that says, hold on, let me overthink this. Hold on, let me overthink this. I've been tempted to buy this. I might have to buy this. All right, we'll see. We'll see. But isn't that great? Hold on. Let's see what else I got. All right, this is here's just a random picture. This is in my neighborhood in Westcliff. There's a couple of deer looking at me. And look at the big mountains. Ain't that neat? And let's see, what else? Oh, this one. All right, I just got to show it to you. Oh, so many people. Oh, gosh darn. Oh, gosh. So many people inspired me to be nothing like them. All right, that's a little harsh, but you know. All right. So there you go. That's my little thing on anxiety. I want to keep it a little light, actually. All right. But seriously, if you struggle with anxiety, do you have a therapist? Are you working on it? Are you on any kind of medication? Have you identified what are the root causes of your anxiety? I mean, I'm hoping you're saying yes to some of my questions. If not, why not? Why not go see a therapist? You know, stop being scared of going to therapy. Stop being scared of this thing we call vulnerability. Stop being scared of exploring your life and talking. Don't be scared about talking about things that are inside that are kind of hard to talk about. It can be an opportunity for you to work on it and to grow. You'll feel better. All right. So I mean, that's just my very brief encouragement. All right. I've seen so many clients get better and improve from anxiety. It does take hard work, though. Don't get me wrong. It takes hard ass work. But man, I've seen a lot of people grow and heal. All right. Okay. One last thing. Do you struggle with this question? What will people think? Oh my gosh, what are people going to think? You know what I mean? You wear an item of clothing, you get a tattoo, whatever that thing is, what are people going to think? I mean, this is almost like a silly, funny example, but I've got this like vomit yellow Subaru. I'm going to show you a picture of it if I can find a picture. It's kind of like a yellowy green. I'm trying to find a picture of it. You just got to believe me. It's sort of a yellowy green. It's a 2021 Subaru. And one time I was parked like in a city. I forget where it was, but I was like outside my car and a woman came walking by with another friend. And she was like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't be seen dead in a car that color. And she didn't know that like I was the owner. And it was like, who cares? It's just the color. You really would care what people would think, All right, so that's like, but really though, think about it. What would people think? Is that like a top rule that informs your decision making? Whether it's like bigger things like the type of career you choose, or things like how you dress, how you present yourself, or like the partner you choose in a relationship. What will people think? Even more specifically, it's like sometimes more for young adults, it's like, what will my parents think? How will they react? Or what will my boss think? What will my friends think? It's like a straitjacket. There's all this life to be lived, all these possibilities. It's so beautiful what you can do with your life. And sometimes we've got this straitjacket where we're like, I can't do that because these people will think that. We're just so fixated on what people are going to think. Just curious, like, I mean, it sounds almost funny, but like, if you struggle with this, think about it. Do you worry about what I would think of you? It's like, I'm a nobody. Seriously, I'm just a nobody. You shouldn't care what I think of you. And then that actually goes to the bigger issue, which is there's a really good chance nobody's thinking about you anyway. Because human nature, we're always thinking about ourselves. And it's like, there's a good chance nobody's even thinking about you anyway. Even if they are thinking about you, they probably like you and respect you. Even if they don't like you, they shouldn't matter anyway. Like, take them off that pedestal. Anyway, what will people think? Let it go. Let it go. Sometimes the root issue related to what will people think is some aspect of like shame or not being comfortable with being yourself, your authentic self. And then it could also be like you're with people who don't validate your true self. And so you almost anticipate people are going to reject you and it's like, yeah, maybe you need a better support system. Maybe you need better friends. Maybe if it's family or something, maybe you need to set boundaries. Maybe you need to improve on your boundaries. This whole idea of like, what will people think? Sometimes people can live a lot of their lives not pursuing their dreams, their passions, because it's like they're just subconsciously thinking, I need to do what I think my parents want me to do. I need to do what I think society would think I should do. instead of being like, I'm going to live my own life. I know what I want to do. I don't even care if anybody likes or dislikes or, you know. And one last thing, I kind of alluded to it, but I'm 54. I might be old. If you're young, you might still think I'm young if you're older than me. But it's like, I can tell you in my 50s, nobody's thinking about me. Hardly anybody's thinking about me. Okay. And like that can be a liberating kind of feeling where it's like, nobody cares. And at first you might think, oh, nobody cares? That's kind of depressing. Like nobody cares. But at the same time, it's like, hey, go do that big, crazy, amazing thing you've always wanted to do. Because you know what? Nobody cares anyway. Go do it. You know what I mean? It can almost be a negative, like nobody cares. Ooh. But then it's like, hey, wait a minute. Nobody cares. I can go do it. I can go change my career. I can go whatever, be yourself. So that's all. And I'm just thinking about it. Like I'm at an age, and I am a single guy where it's like, I've thought about it. Whatever money I have, I'm not that wealthy, but my savings, my retirement fund, which if I were to just take all my money and just blow it, what, all right, let's say I go to Vegas, I blow it all right, nobody would even care. Like nobody would tap me on the shoulder and be like, Steve, you shouldn't do that. Nobody cares. Anyway, it just goes to that whole issue of like, are you living your life based on what you think? It's like, it's not even about what people think. It's what you think people think. That's the craziness of it all. Because you really don't know what people think of you 99% of the time. You know what I mean? And we're just imagining, and our anxiety is always saying, oh, they're thinking the worst of us. We're no good. They don't like us, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going a little bit on a ranting here, but what will people think? If you want to live your best life, somehow you've got to fight that, combat that, deal with that 800-pound gorilla of what will people think? And to find ways to say, no, get out of here. I'm going to live my life. Okay? So, all right, I'm going to stop there. Actually, I've got a client in 15 minutes. I'm starting my workday. Okay? I finished my cocoa. All right, this is really good cocoa, by the way. All right? And then lastly, my snake says thank you for watching. All right, my nice ceramic snake and my Howard Hamlin license plate. Go watch Better Call Saul. Watch Breaking Bad first and then watch Better Call Saul. And my neon cactus. Let me plug this in. Oh, yeah. Just beautiful. All right, all my love. Steve Garufi, LPC, WanderingElkWellness.com. The problem you can't talk about is now 2 problems. All right, really, thank you to everyone who watched, and make it a good week. All right, so long. Bye-bye.